Hello folks, out there in YouTubeville. Once again, I felt in the mood today. It's a beautiful day outside today, and I felt in the mood, since I need to change my guitar strings anyway, to have you guys accompany me. Now, it's been a while since I've actually videotaped a video from my camcorder. And I believe it's I want to say it's a Canon Vixia, one of the Vixias from Canon. It's a really good camcorder for what it does. And I like to keep it around for, videos of this type and different things like that. But what I'm doing today is I'm changing my guitar strings on my Breedlove Revival DR Deluxe guitar. And recently I've switched to light medium gauge. And I still use Elixir. I use the Nano Web Phosphor Bronze Elixir. These are the ones I go by all the time. But I've switched to light mediums, or I call them medium lights. They say light medium on the package. Because I've had a lot of hand issues lately with carpal tunnel and everything, and it just makes it so much easier not have to really push down on those high strings for playing solos and for playing chords and things like that. When you're especially when you're holding chords for a long time, it makes it so much easier. The only downfall that I see with these is that it's more snappy sounding, and you can't get as much volume out of these strings. But I don't really have to worry about that much because nowadays, with today's technology, I'm usually mic'd up to something, or I can plug in via the pickup system that my guitar has, or like on a microphone like this, it picks it up fairly well. Most mics nowadays pick things up, so that's not really a big worry, except if I'm in a jam session with somebody, which I hardly ever do anymore because I just really don't have the time. So I'm going to open these up, and these are, like I said, Elixir Phosphor Bronze. Curiously enough, I don't use Elixirs on my electric guitars. I try to go for the cheapest thing possible with the highest quality. Two brands that I really recommend are Dunlop strings. They're really good. And I also use Ernie balls. Now, Diodarios are pretty good too. Some of my favorite guitar players use Diodarios. Brian Sutton uses those. For electric guitar strings, Joe Satriani uses Diodarios unless he switched. But lately I've been sticking with Ernie Ball Super Slinkies, the pink ones, the 9 to 42. This is medium lights are 12 to 56, and that's what we're going to work with today. I love Elixir strings. Now, I'm not really going to show you how I change guitar strings. This is more of a blog type update type thing. What I've been up to and what why I haven't been on YouTube that much. Give you some kind of explanations as far as that. I've already got a video on how I personally change guitar strings. The proven method for changing guitar strings or something like that. So I'll show you what I have. You can go to that video and kind of go from there. I use lemon oil. This is Formby's lemon oil treatment. Curiously enough, this says caution. It's very flammable and combustible. So if you pick very fast, then you might want to step away from the guitar in case you light it on fire. But this is penetrating lemon oil. I use that on anything that's rosewood. So that's or ebony in this case. I think this is ebony. The fingerboard and the bridge, that's what I use that on. And it helps restore the oils in the wood. It keeps it from cracking. And I know I've got a guitar that I haven't used in years that I never did the treatment until I learned about it. But it would crack, and the wood is pretty visible in the cracks. So I use that. A string wider is definitely key. You have to have some kind of string wider, or this is going to take forever. I also use a set of wire cutters. These are the kind of square looking ones, not the needle nose, but because these are great for pulling out the bridge pins as well. You can just slip it under there and just pull it out. I also have a polishing cloth and guitar polish. This is just Ernie Ball guitar polish, Martin guitar polish. Any polish will work. I do highly suggest that you spray a little bit on the cloth and test an area, preferably the one that's not visible, maybe even up here to the neck, maybe somewhere on the back, to make sure it's not going to harm your finish. Most finishes have no problem with this. So I just spray the rag. I don't spray the instrument. I spray the rag and then buff it around there. You'll see me doing all this stuff. And I also use a lead pencil, preferably mechanical pencil, because the lead is so thin that you can get in between the slots in the nut and over here on the saddle. So that's graphite. It will help keep the strings from going out of tune. It will help them keep tuning stabilization. So without further ado, let's go ahead and move on here. And I'm going to get this strap out of my way. All right, so What have I been into? All right, it's a lot of things I've been into. As far as why I haven't been on YouTube lately, that is mainly because I've been so busy with my writing projects, writing career that I've been trying to work hard on, which some of you have seen, on different areas of YouTube, Smart Focus, and that. By the way, I have that series is finally now completed. I have it right here. Smart Focus series is now complete, and I am on to more things. I'm in the process of getting my email list kind of revamped, my nonfiction list, so that I can include book 1 for free. So that's a little known fact that I haven't disclosed anywhere else. You're hearing it here first on YouTube. I'll be making book 1 free, ebook version of course. I've got a new system that I'm trying out for ebooks, distributing them and getting them to my customers. And also selling some things that I don't really feel comfortable selling on Amazon, like short stories. I mean, 1 or 2 short stories here and there. I don't really see Amazon as a big market for that, so I've got a different system maybe for making those available. And hopefully, whenever I get out of Kindle Unlimited or Kindle Select, I'll be able to make the whole box set free at a discounted rate to those that are subscribed to my nonfiction email list. And that's over at ericbeatty.com/books. That's the best way to find. You can choose a nonfiction or fiction mailing list, and you can sign up for either one. And that will be appearing on there pretty soon whenever I make that available for free. So these are actually going to my local library so that I can donate those to the library and get my name out there book-wise as an author. So that's one thing I've been really working on highly, and that is getting a new ebook distribution system going. And I'm testing out right now Book Funnel, which I've heard a lot of good things about, and also another place that I heard about on Kboards called PayHit. Now, so far, PayHit sounds like a great way to get people on your newsletter and get people to subscribe to your newsletter, to download free books, and a good way to implement Book Funnel and PayHit together so that you can have the ultimate distribution system. So once again, I'm going to take this little wire cutter and just slide it underneath the bridge pin. I don't even have to close the thing. It's perfect. I only have to put any pressure on it, and it just pulls those bridge pins right out. Okay, so, and ow, just about pinched myself there. I like to keep these in order of when I pull them out, so that way the same amount of pressure and the same kind of string gets put on the same pin. I don't know. I don't even know if that matters or not. That's just something I've always done. And these bridge pins, I think they're made of ebony as well. I don't think they're plastic. They definitely have wood grain in them, so might be a good idea to put some lemon oil on these bad boys. I never thought about that. I may just do that today too. So that's one thing I've been doing, is getting my Smart Focus series books ready to go and out the door and all that other good stuff. And I'm so glad that that is now done. There are a few things that I've got to do still, like create a box set and create a compilation for the box set. I use Scrivener, as many of you know. I've got a course on Udemy about Scrivener. You can find that out by going to ericbeatty.com/Scrivener-headaches. So that's what I use. That's what I highly recommend. Can't get enough of it. It makes writing so much easier and so much more fun and more to look forward to when you sit down and write. As far as other things I've been into, as you probably know already from some of the videos that I've been putting here on YouTube, I've been testing out Twitch as a streaming medium. My brother told me about Twitch and how good a platform it is to get more followers and maybe more business for some of my products. And I thought I'd try it, so I've been working on that for about, I don't know, since probably Christmas or so, probably December. And it's not very easy by a long shot to get followers on there. For one thing, people expect you to have a schedule, and you need to stream like 2 or 3 times a week. The more the better. And you try to shoot for so many hours per month for 30 days to get affiliated with Twitch and all this other stuff. So far, my experience with it has been pretty aggravating in the sense of I've been using OBS software, which is open broadcasting software, open broadcaster software, for most of my videos lately. and I've been using a lot of videos on my webcam, is what I'm trying to say. Use a lot of videos for my webcam, and rather than videos like this, because it's just so much easier to sit up at my desk and use the open broadcasting software and have multi-angle shots, because I've got a couple of webcams that I use. And you've seen some of that, you know, if you've been a subscriber for any amount of time, you've seen some of the videos I've done on there. But with Twitch, I've just been trying to get, noticed doing that as well. And I've had headaches with the software, the open broadcasting software, because it's just the frame rates drop and different things like that. So I've been having all kinds of issues with that, and it's been aggravating. But I've been wanting to also, not only that, as far as why I've been on Twitch, to get more followers and things like that, it's because I recently, well, maybe not too recently, but maybe, I don't know, back in December, November, I put a poll out on my YouTube channel from the community tab. If you're on my channel, you can look at the community. It used to be called discussion, but now I think it's called community. It's a place where people can chat and where I can actually notify my subscribers of different things that are going on with YouTube and the different things that I'm doing. So I did a poll on what kind of videos you'd like to see more of here on YouTube. And overwhelmingly, something like 80% of the people, out of all the choices that I had, acoustic guitar videos was the #1 choice. And it wasn't really a surprise to me. It was kind of a surprise that not many votes were for any of the other things, more like 7% or something like that for each of the other categories. But 80-something%, I think everybody voted for acoustic guitar videos. Now, this has been dubbed the Guitarpreneur channel for a while, and it's about all kinds of guitar. It's about any kind of business things I want to talk about. And now, lately, it's been about writing and things like that. And I also realize it's stuff I'm passionate about, but I also realize that I've kind of built a niche for myself, mainly around bluegrass guitar here on YouTube. So, in the spirit of trying to conform to that, I've been using Twitch for all the other videos, for screencasting and for streaming and electric guitar stuff and all kinds of different things that I can think of. I've been using Twitch for that, so that's been more of an experimental kind of thing, and it's been kind of liberating as well. Not having to worry about, am I making my audience aggravated at all this other content that I'm doing besides acoustic guitar. And I don't have to worry about that because it's a brand new medium to me. I'm kind of feeling, liberated to be able to share all the other ideas that I have on a different platform. And I like streaming live. I like doing things in the moment when I can get the technology to work. I mean, I'm using a Mac Mini mid-2011 model. I've got 8 gigs of RAM on it, but it's still lagging like crazy. I've got good upload speed, like anywhere between 7 and 11 gigabytes, or megabits per second, I think is what it's called, upload speed. So that's not an issue. It's just the fact that I've got an older computer and having all kinds of problems with that. It is what it is. What I have to do as a result of that, and you've seen some of the latest videos on YouTube because of it, is that I've had to lower the frame rate to 30 and kind of lower the quality of it so that I get halfway decent videos. Now, if you're interested in checking out my Twitch, usually my streaming, I try to do it during the evening because I work on writing and different things like that during the day, and then use my evening time to stream, whether it be electric guitar or here recently I've been working on the next track on my album that I've been putting off forever and ever, trying to get the Smart Focus series done. So I've been working on that album, and I'm just about to be in the mixing stage. In fact, I am in the mixing stage now of the next track, the next single of another song that I've written. And I'll be streaming that probably sometime, maybe even tonight. So if you want to catch any of those streams, usually it'll be around late, like 9 or 10 before I start streaming. And it's not at a set schedule right now. Best way probably is just to go on Twitch and follow me there, or subscribe to my Twitch channel. And you can find that at ericbeatty.com/Twitch. If you need the actual Twitch URL, this redirects you to the Twitch URL. But if you want that, it's twitch.tv/theericbeatty, all one word. Okay, so you can find me on Twitch, and if you subscribe or follow, it should notify you as to when I'm going on Twitch. So that's the other thing I've been mainly working on is Twitch streaming. So that's books and ebooks, and then Twitch streaming. Let's see what else I've been working on here. I've had some ideas, brainstorming ideas, and for some lessons, but it's something that I know could be transformed into something bigger, like maybe a new course, and nothing by any means the magnitude of either of my other two courses, and that is Texas Blues Guitar and Bluegrass Guitar Essentials. This is more like maybe a 1.5 hour course ideas, because I don't want to get involved in something that big again, because to me the most important thing is getting the product finished now. I realize that. Getting it done is better than getting it perfect, and then if I need to, as I go along, I can correct course and work on other things to try to make the product better if I have to. So I've been having some ideas as far as, lessons that I obviously could put on YouTube, but that I think that might be better served as a course. And I had an awesome epiphany last night. I mean, I was lying in bed and thinking about this, and all of a sudden it popped in my head, because one thing I've dreaded about making courses is the whole tablature aspect. People want tabs out the wazoo. They want to be, no offense, but they want to be handheld all the way through a video or through a course. And to me, that limits your learning ability more than anything. It doesn't help, because you're learning things note for note. You're not learning how to improvise. You're not learning how to create your own melodies, create your own phrasings, and things like that. Now, what does help with that, in my opinion, are chord sheets and scale sheets, because you have the notes that you that you can use, but you're not limited to when you have to use each note. You can decide out of the blue when to use each note. Now with tabs, it's just like reading music. You have a number, and it doesn't give you any other options. What's on the page is what you play, and really that kind of boxes you in more than anything to me. So I've always dreaded the tab aspect of making products, because I do not have the patience for it. I don't have the technical skill for it. Yes, you can hire people to do that, but that comes into a whole nother headache if you don't get the right person. And I found several people that could do it, but it's just also a question of cost. How much do I need to put into it? But the epiphany I had last night, and I can't believe I didn't think of this before. It just goes to show you, the more you ponder something, sometimes if you leave it alone for a while, your mind will automatically find a solution for it. And in my case, the solution was not to have a tab for every single lick I do from now on, but maybe everything I cover in a course could be summed up in 1 or 2 solos at the end of the course that would incorporate everything I've taught up to that point, so that your tabs now can be something I've covered, but they can be used in a live, actual situation. So instead of having, like in my Bluegrass Guitar Essentials course, I had probably, I don't know, upwards of 50 to 100 tabs probably. And the same goes with Texas Blues Guitar. Instead of doing that, I could have 2 long solos tabbed out. Cost effective and definitely labor effective, so that I don't have to worry about the tabs. I don't have to. Another thing about doing that is, if you give tabs to somebody, if you want somebody to do your tabs, you have to pinpoint, timestamp every single instance you want them to tab, so that they don't go through the whole video and tab the whole video. And that is a pain in itself that I do not want to be a part of. So it's not that I'm lazy by any means. It's just that I have been burnt out one too many times on all these labor-intensive things, and things taking forever to release. It took 3 years to release Bluegrass Guitar Essentials, and that's why you guys have not seen any other products from me other than writing books. I mean, I just got burnt out on it. And now I've got some ideas to where it could be, turned into nice products, but the thing is, do I want to get involved in that again? And in my case, yes, I do, especially now that I've got all these little shortcuts that don't affect the quality of the course, but help add to the value and add to the reducing the time to get those released. And speaking of courses, let me go grab something. I'll be right back. Just sit tight. All right, I am back. Now, as far as products and things like that, I want to show you guys something I haven't revealed yet. It's another thing that's been in the works. And this is not a new product, so to speak. This is a new version of a product. Now, we've been talking about Texas Blues Guitar and Bluegrass Guitar Essentials, and one thing that has recently come to my attention is being able to create products via USB as opposed to making discs. And it's a lot easier to have one USB stick versus 7 discs to make artwork for and to create all the files for it and things like that. So what I have done and been testing and will soon be released is the first time I'm revealing it, Texas Blues Guitar on USB. That's what this is up here, USB. This is still in the wrap. I haven't even opened it. It came in the mail about a day ago, yesterday, depending on when you're watching this. In my time, in real time, yesterday. And I've been excited to test it out. I haven't got to test it out yet, but this is going to be so helpful for me in so many ways. It's because, for one thing, not many people buy the downloadable version, and you're about to see the kitty walk across here probably. Not many people buy the downloadable version of Texas Blues Guitar. And I haven't wanted to make it into a webisode format like I have with Bluegrass Guitar Essentials, because that was another labor-intensive process of splitting all the video files up into 20 minutes or less, because that's what Udemy's requirements are, and having questions about video, quality this, video quality that, and all this, because it was already pre-recorded and I didn't want to go back and fix, whatever they wanted me to fix. Not that it's a bad product to begin with. Video quality is very, very good. But I didn't want to have to split those up like that and go through all that work again. This is past, let's move forward, kind of like one of the things. But it was hard to resist creating a USB product out of this, because for one thing, I've been using a program or a shopping cart kind of a company that I've been getting hit with a monthly fee, but not many people buy the web or the download version of this. So I've been paying money that really doesn't serve me well. And I've been trying to look for other ways to either host those digital files somewhere else or come up with another option entirely. And for me, the option is USB, because now you can take this, plug it into your computer, and effectively have the same thing as if you were to download the webisodes. The only difference is that it's not instant. You still have to wait for shipping, but you can still get these on your computer without having to go through the process of ripping any of the DVDs or anything like that, or trying to get the data onto your computer. Now there's a separate data disk that is for that, and eventually I'm going to do this, if this works, which it should. Eventually I'm going to do this with Bluegrass Guitar Essentials as well, but I will keep the Udemy webisodes. The Udemy webisodes have a few extras in that. There's nothing really I've added to the course, but there's a few like YouTube videos that kind of supplement and go along with the Bluegrass Guitar Essentials course. So I've kind of linked to those. That's about the only extra things that happen there. But with Texas Blues Guitar, with the USB version of Bluegrass Guitar Essentials, I'll still keep the webisodes, but now you have an extra option. You can download already the webisodes from Udemy, which is where it's hosted. But this will have it all in one. You don't have to wait for download times and everything. And what I'm going to probably do is, instead of doing the Bluegrass Guitar Essentials in webisode format and all these different webisodes, like 20 plus per section, I'm probably going to leave it as it is on the disc. So one video file for a whole disc versus like 10 video files for a whole disc, because that will be a lot easier to work with, and just a lot less headache. So that's going to happen as well. What I want to do real quick before I put these strings on is open this up. So we're going to have an unboxing here, and open this up and kind of see what's inside. Now it sounds like the USB thing kind of came loose, unless it's just loosely placed in the little chamber. But so what's effectively going to happen is the download version of this is going to go away, and it's going to be replaced by the USB version. So if you want the download version, you want to get over there at secretsoftexasbluesguitar.com/DVDs, which links to both the DVDs and the download version. You want to get that pretty soon, because pretty soon that's going away. And I'm talking within days, weeks, if not days, because I'm ready to get this out the door. I'm ready to cancel my subscription to that service. So that's one less thing I need to worry about. So let's open this up. And there we go. There is the USB file. Now, It looks like what they've done is they've used that little sticky glue tape stuff on here, and they just place it on there and stick it there, which is fine. That's fine with me. The inside, I've actually took some time and redone the inside so that it makes it sound, and the back. This is a little insert, the author's thank you insert. It looks just like the other one in the discs, but I've updated it a little bit to make it, sound more like, hey, this is the USB you're having here. Okay, this is the wrong author info. I've got to update that. For some reason, I've got the wrong author info here, so I'll be changing that. Let's see if the back is right. Yeah, the back is correct, but I've got to change the audio because it's still referencing discs, like disc 10 is your data disc, and there's no discs in here, so I don't want any confusion on that, so I'll have to update that. But, you're going to get this in what this is called an amaret case. Now, with the discs, it comes in 2 because there's 2 volumes, because there's like 10 discs, so it's like 6 per disc or 6 discs or 5 discs per case. And the back, it looks like this, but there's also another kind of breakdown of all the discs on the second volume. But here's what it looks like. It's got my logo on there. Probably hard to see that. But this is a 4 gig stick. Okay, so you can imagine how long it would take you to download 4 gigs, even if you have a high download speed. This is really cool, so I can't wait to try this out. So we open it up, and there's the USB drive, just like that. And there's a little light on one side to let you know that it's working and it's coming on. It's got a little hook here if you want to keep it like on a keychain or something in your case. And it's got the logo printed on both sides. So that's what it looks like, and that will be available very soon. I'm not exactly sure what the price is going to be. It might be just a little higher than the download version because obviously you have to think of cost, production costs. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be pretty awesome. And if I can, I'd like to make a package deal where you can get the discs and the USB for a discounted cost. So if it'll allow me to do that, where I can somehow link both of them, that way when you order it, it'll ship both of them out. That would be awesome. So for now, let's get back to doing the strings here. So let's see, what else? Mainly, like I said, I've been doing writing stuff, and that's been going along with, I've had writing groups, and I've been trying to work on different stories, and I've just today started working on trying to get my NaNoWriMo novel back from 2009. It's been a long haul for that too. I've been trying to get that going, and I just today started work on that again, trying to get the ideas edited and breaking everything down so that I can get that done. I'm going to finally start using a method by a guy named Stuart Horwitz, and it is one of my favorite books and favorite systems to work on, and that's called the book architecture method. And this book is called Blueprint Your Bestseller, and it's an amazing system. And I figured, if I'm going to get this thing done and do it right, I want to do it by a system. Now, I don't really plot and outline my novels or anything like that, or my stories, except for maybe just a few ideas that I have. But I don't sit there and do an extensive, plot treatment, what it's called. But after the fact, it's important to try to, put some structure during the editing and revision stages. So I would like to try that. And this guy has helped several people turn their books into bestsellers. So he knows what he's talking about. He's what you might call a book doctor, and that's what he does. Now, again, his name is Stuart Horwitz, STUARTHORWITZ, Stuart Horwitz. And you can find him online. Do a search for him. He's got a website. Book architecture method is his method. And so I'm revising my novel using that system. And so now that Smart Focus is finally done, I'm kind of had it up to here with nonfiction stuff. I've been dying to write fiction, and that's what I want to focus on. And so that's what I've been turning to lately. I've got a story idea that I've had for, a couple of years. Nothing really came out of it, but I've had some ideas about it. And what I would do is whenever I would have an idea, I would write a few scenes with this character in it. For example, there's one scene. Now, this is kind of more like a sci-fi alien fiction type bounty hunter, mercenary type character. And for example, one of the scenes that I had in my mind is he's at a riverbank fishing. And instead of using a pole and rod, he uses his telekinetic, kind of energy and grabs the fish up from the water. And all of a sudden you see this fish jump out of the water and it doesn't come back down. It's floating because he's got it. And he brings it to him through means of telekinesis. And his powers, whatever they are, I haven't defined those yet. But, excuse me, he brings it to him, and then you see him in the next little scene cooking him on the fire, on the coals. He's kind of like a wilderness outdoorsy type guy. And he's kind of stranded here on planet Earth because his home planet has been, kind of ravaged. And I don't want to say destroyed, but it's been kind of plagued by one of the bad guys there. So haven't really worked it out, but I've been trying to do something called, it's kind of plotting. It's using the snowflake method, if you've ever heard of that. And if you use Scrivener, there's a cool template called Caro's Novel Outliner. And she's got a bunch of different ways to outline your novel, a bunch of different templates, even a little spot there for people who like to pants their way through. They call them pantsers because they write by the seat of their pants instead of outlining everything. So it's really cool. Check out Caro's Novel Outliner. Do a search for that, and there's a template available, a Scrivener template available online for that. Let's see what else. Oh, as far as writing, another thing that I'm really excited about that I've been working on is where I teach music and guitar. I've really been, once again, after doing something for a long time, it's good to have a little bit of a change of pace. And one thing I've been thinking about is trying to figure out ways to really, get back in the feel of enjoying my time there at where I teach at, other than music-wise. I love music, but I've been really on this writing kick, and I want to continue to see it all the way through. One thing that I've been approached about doing is a writer's workshop, along with some other people who work there and who are writers and have published books. And I was really excited to be a part of that. It's going to be happening in March. It's going to be happening this month, and it's going to be involving, like I said, me and a bunch of other writers from the place where I teach. Maybe a few writers from the community, I'm not sure. So I'm going to take this pencil right now and go ahead and mark some more graphite because it's kind of worked its way out. So I'll be doing that in March. So what I want to focus on, my topic, we're going to have what's called breakout sessions. Basically, that's where you kind of divide up into different segments of the group, and you go into different rooms and you talk about your ideas and your product that you want to talk about and your aspect of what you want to teach on. So my ideas are going to be working using the NaNoWriMo methods, and I'm a really big NaNoWriMo fan. It's National Novel Writing Month. Every year they do that in November, and so that is what mine is going to be on. Is one of the breakout sessions is going to be on NaNoWriMo, and then we're also going to do one, or I'm going to do one on story software, writing software, and mind mapping. And I'm really excited to do one on mind mapping because if you've seen my video on mind mapping, you can go to ericbeatty.com/mind mapping, and I think that's all one word. I'm really a big advocate of that method of brainstorming. It really opens up a lot of ideas and a lot of both story ideas, product ideas. I've used it for making products. I've used it for creating stories. I've used mind mapping for all sorts of things, and it's a lifesaver when it comes to trying to work out your ideas. Writing itself is a good way to work out your ideas, but sometimes you just don't know what to talk about. And so kind of mind mapping your thoughts on a page is really beneficial in that area. All right, now string, quit coming out of there. I probably should have checked that before I started doing this because now I'm going to have too much slack. Oh well. About 3-4 lines, that's too much for me, but it is what it is now. So next string. But anyway, because of that, because of the writing workshop that's coming up, I've really had a desire to do other things where I'm working at. So like I said, let's see how far we can take this. And so summer's coming up. Fall classes will soon be here, and they've been requesting and asking for ideas for what you would like to, teach in the fall and it is for summer classes. And what I've optioned for is for my fall classes to do an entire NaNoWriMo class, and that is starting with some basic fiction ideas, grammar, punctuation, plotting, character building, world development, world building, character development, however you want to say it. Different things like that. Moving on into, as the month of November approaches, preparing your novel, kind of planning some of it out. And then in NaNoWriMo, every bit of us in the class participate in NaNoWriMo to try to create a novel of 50,000 words or more during the month of November. And so after that, the typical thing is in December we kind of rest, we take a break. Maybe that'd be a good time to do some fun things with writing. And then in January, we start editing the book. And it starts going about editing and then publishing in February and then March and on it goes. And so I've been excited to try to maybe work on that over the fall. Now, the other thing I wanted to work on is there's a book that I really like and highly recommend called How to Keep a Spiritual Journal by Ronald Klug. And it's an old book. I remember when I was in high school reading it, and I've remembered it ever since then. And as an adult, I went back and bought one because I loved it so much. It had some really good insights to go over. And so what I want to do is do a class on journal keeping, because I find that immensely helpful in my own life for dealing with any kind of depression, emotional issues, or learning how to write. It's a really good training ground to learn how to write. Journaling is. And if you've never kept a journal, if you've never written anything, then a journal is a great way to start. Nowadays, the big craze is bullet journaling, and I do a little bit of that now. I finally got me a bullet journal. I've had one for a while, but I finally gotten into a routine and an idea of how to use it for my own personal methods. Usually a bullet journal is used for planning, but I kind of have a planner already. I used the Passion Planner for a long time, and now I'm trying to go with the bullet journal. I use Dave Say's Emergent Task Planner. I did a blog post on that. You go to erickbay.com and look at the first few blog articles that are there. If it's not there, then do a search for Emergent Task Planner on my blog. And I've been using that for a while. I love that tool. It's really good. You don't have to worry about daily planning. You just plan when you feel like planning. But that leaves me without a monthly planner, because that's more like a daily planner. So what I do for a monthly planner now is I've been using the bullet journal to plan my month. But the journaling in general, now I'm not talking about, doing a class on bullet journaling, although that may come up. I'm talking about doing a class on journaling in general and how it can help you. Specifically, this is going to be about keeping a spiritual journal, so it can be about helping you increase your relationship with God. So that's going to be awesome. I hope that they can improve that. It's a Christian-based community anyway, Christian-based school, private school. So that'll be awesome to see that in place. And for the summer, I talked about summer, what they had, we had talked about, me and the director there. Not that I'm quitting any, students. I'll just be doing some other things to kind of, satisfy my need to do other things. So the other thing I was going to do, we talked about how much I love working with computers. I love, working on computers. I've been doing computer stuff since the 7th grade when I first learned how. When I think the Mac, as it is today, even before as it is today, but using a mouse. I remember when the Macintosh, I was in grade school when the Macintosh came out. It was a big deal. I remember playing Oregon Trail, and it'd be cool if I could find a version of Oregon Trail and play some of that again, but I remember playing that on the old Mac. It was a Macintosh when it was called a Macintosh. And but I remember in 7th grade when it was a little bit more advanced, and that's when I really fell in love with computers and the whole concept of being able to control things with a mouse, and you don't have to type in commands and all that stuff anymore. But what I want to do is kind of like a class dedicated to learning how to, use the computer in today's world, ordering things online. Not that we're going to order stuff online in class, I don't know, but how to type. Nobody has the typing skills anymore. I mean, it's kind of sad when you think about it. Everybody does all this texting, and people probably think, oh, that's the way the world's going to go. We're going to have texting and all this. Well, I'm sorry, but I will never, ever type a novel on any form of text. It just won't happen. Typing is the easiest way to do it. You can argue that all day long if you want to, but typing for me is the way to go. And so introducing typing tests and trying to increase your typing speed and things like that that will help these kids learn how to use a computer in today's world. Now, I'm probably not going to be going over spreadsheets and things like that because I'm not very good at it, to tell you the truth. I'm not a good spreadsheet person. But, man, that one's hard to turn. Probably need to loosen that. I don't know if I can loosen that or not. Probably need to loosen that. That's tough. One important thing here is you've got to make sure that your strings are evenly spaced. And if they're not, you need to lower the strings and then evenly space them. But yeah, that's what I've been working on. The writing parts of it, I've still been playing with the Gilbert family. We're starting to get some more singings booked up and things like that. As far as YouTube videos, I just honestly haven't had the desire to do it because all this other stuff has been going on, and it's just one more thing to add to it. But what I'd like to do is, now that I've got these strings on here and I've got the guitar out, is maybe do a few videos before I call it quits for the day, and separate videos obviously. Then, go from there. But that's pretty much everything I've talked about is what I've been working on for the longest time. And now that 2016 has rolled around, or 2018 has rolled around, and what I'd like to do is continue working on my writing, getting my fiction out there, and if I have a notion to do a product, it'll probably be an acoustic guitar product, but if I have a notion to do that, then do that. Get it out there as quickly as I can. It probably won't be a DVD, it'll probably be a download or USB. Once again. The only other thing that I've been working on is, in fact, my album, like I talked about. And you can check that out on Twitch. Like I said, I'm doing live streams of that now. I didn't mention this before, but anything to do with YouTube that would be YouTube relevant, like actual lessons on guitar, whether it be acoustic or if I see that it's going to be a beneficial electric guitar lesson, then I'm going to go ahead and post it on YouTube as well. I don't want to deprive you guys of some of that really informational content. But for the most part, it's just been work sessions, me working on things, working on my album, working on doing other little things, writing or something like that. Stuff that I don't want to inundate this channel with. So that's what I've been doing on Twitch, and anything that's relevant, like maybe since I'm about to go into the mixing stages of my album, I might do a few of those videos to post on YouTube as well, because I know you guys are interested in my music. So looking forward to doing some of that. I've been in contact, you guys will be excited to know this, but I've been in contact with Kenneth Burris. That is my second all-time highest viewed and rated and liked and all that video on YouTube. And it continues to increase in views. So I usually start with a D string. I didn't start with a D string that time, so let's go ahead and do that real quick. So he's coming down probably, if nothing changes, he's coming down probably in May, the 1st of May. And then, so he's going to come down and we're going to try to shoot another video. He's got his guitar, his Martin. He's just had it in the shop, and he should have it out in a few days. And he's had some work done on it because I think he accidentally dropped it in the case or something, and it put a huge crack on it. It's the same guitar he had the last time. It's the D16, I think is what it was. And so he's had that in the shop, and he's going to bring that down, and we're going to try to do another jam session. Maybe outside again, who knows? But we're looking forward to that. So I tune each string, then I go back and tune the previous string again, because obviously when you're putting more tension on the neck, the strings kind of go flat as you do that. So then I just go back and retune what I just tuned. And kind of press down these strings, because I don't want to shock them. A lot of people use these, power tools, and, get those strings going. I'm not advocating that, because you need to let the strings mellow and stretch gradually, not this fast stuff. You don't want to shock the string. It may not break now, but later down the road it might. So always be gentle to your strings. Now we'll go through and make sure everything's retuned to standard. Then what I do is I take it, put the pick down and grab it. And I'll also make sure these are in tight. I grab it here, give it a few tugs, and then come up to the top and give it a few tugs, both here and up here. tug a couple times, tug a couple times, tug, tug. All the strings I do this way. Now I'm going to be talking about how I kind of do this, but because I'm really getting my mind focused on this and pretty much went over all I need to. I've already mentioned this in the how I change my guitar strings. So if you're done with this video, it's fine. You can go ahead and watch, that other video if you need to actually learn how to change your guitar strings. I'm pretty much done with the updates. Do check out secretsoftexasbluesguitar.com, and this will be out very shortly for the USB. Please tell your friends to subscribe as well to this YouTube page, and if you want to, you can support me over at Twitch at twitch.tv/theericbeatty or ericbeatty.com/twitch. So, thank you for watching, to those of you who do it up to this point, and now all I'm going to do is finish this up. The only other thing I would like to do, and I'll probably do that in a different video since I already kind of signed everybody else off, I'd like to do an updated studio tour, because I've rearranged some things around and got a little bit of new equipment to show you guys. So I'd probably like to do that before I get on to any lessons. So that'll probably happen next. So after I do that, I retune the strings, make sure the strings are retuned again. And this whole sequence of tune, stretch, happens about 3 times. The goal is, each time you have to tune the strings, you want to have to tune them less. So it doesn't take you as long to get to the natural tuning, or even to the point to where it doesn't even change after you stretch. Okay, so that's the goal. So now they're in tune, let's stretch them again. That's twice. And probably one more time and I'll be done. See, the D's just barely out of tune. That's what you want. So that E's still having quite a bit of problems. So I'm going to have to do this one more time. Okay, one more time, and then I'll call it quits. And then all you do from there is just you clip off the ends of the strings, which I do. I don't like the whole curly thing where you wind it back up and have all these jagged ends and everything showing everywhere. And then from there, I'll actually take and put the date on the string package of when I changed the string, so I'll know how long it's been. I think it's been about 2 months since I changed these, maybe 3. So these last a long time, and I play a lot. So I'll put the date on there, and depending on what time of the day, here's a little trick. If it's like at 5 o'clock at night, then most of the day is past, and I'll put the next day on there. But today it's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'll go ahead and consider it being this day. All right, so last one here. Good. Oop, that is a lot better. Good enough for me. And then usually when you cut the strings, 1 or 2, like maybe the E string, will go out because of the kind of a release on the tension there. So I'll cut these strings, and you always want to make sure that you are cutting that string and that string only, and cutting the end of it. Because I've done this to where I have actually accidentally cut off a string next to it, and it snapped. Oh, and I learned never to do that again. That never happened again. Always careful about that. So I'm going to leave a little excess here on the end, and I always try to cut flat. In other words, I don't want to have an angle on the string, because that will cause a sharp point. We don't want that. Alright, so I'd say after I get done with this video then, I'll do a quick studio tour, and then maybe a lesson or 2, something like that. We'll see what happens. Gotta be careful with these last 2, because they will bite. As far as disposal, I think I've mentioned this on 1 or 2 other videos. There are places out there that recycle these strings and make jewelry out of them. You can do that, but you have to pay postage and handling to get them there. So I just typically package them up in the packets they came in and throw them away, so there's no loose ends where people, if they're shoving down the trash, like we always do, we get too full and shove it. You don't want anybody getting poked and prodded by these things and getting stuck. So last one we do is another tune-up. Told you they would be out. Something's rattling. Yeah, the tuner was actually against the tuning peg, so it was rattling. All right, so let's see what it sounds like. Okay, I can tell some of it's out. Usually what I do after that is the tuner's just a guide. I just fine tune. So So that's sharp. So I usually like to leave the G a little flat because when you go to G sharp, it's usually a little sharp. So I use that a little flat. The G, usually try to match the D, open D with the B string here on the 2nd fret. Make sure that's in tune. It's a little low. That's a little high, so I'll bring that down a little bit. And you can do the harmonic too. And usually the A is sharp, so I put the A at the C note and tune it with that. That one seems a little flat, so let's give that a little bit more. Now the tune doesn't say, well, it does say it's a little sharp, but I go by my ear. Your ear is the most important thing. Guys, that's been the video for today, changing strings and update. And so you'll be seeing quite a few more videos here probably on YouTube. Now it's not going to be on a regular basis because like I said, I've got all these other things on my plate, but I'd like to spend the time creating content that's of a higher quality, and usually that means, you know, spending the time creating music on my albums, creating courses, creating books, different things like that. So there won't be a whole lot of videos here on YouTube for like a lot of the new stuff. I'd like to do more of that, but hopefully I can get in the mood to do that every now and then. I've got a couple of days off from teaching, so maybe I can sit down and kind of just join you guys and do a few videos like this, acoustic videos. But that's pretty much it. Well guys, we'll see you later, and thank you so much for watching up to this point. If you're still here, please check out all those links that I mentioned before. I won't go over that again. But I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you next time. God richly bless you, and you enjoy this beautiful, fixing to be spring day.